Welcome to Bulldog Sports Insider. I'm Emma Jones.
And I'm Adam Walters, here to give you this week's Bulldog Sports News.
This is Bulldog Sports Insider for October 1st, 2020. Here are your hosts, Emma Jones and Adam Walters.
Welcome to our show. Today we'll be talking about softball's big wins versus Monroe area and Franklin, volleyball's matches against Rabun and Rabun Gap, and we're going to be talking about some football news this week. We're going to start off with softball. The Bulldogs are 11-6 overall, and they're 3-4 in region.
Emma, I know that you called the game last week. Can you give us some inside scoop on what you saw?
Well, last week they faced a region opponent with Monroe area. Softball faced a region opponent with Monroe area, and the last time they played Monroe area, Raid Campbell pitched a 9-0 shutout at the beginning of this month. So last week they started out a little slow, a little rocky at first, but they came out on top and won 14-6. That's a good region win for the Dogs, and hopefully we're pushing for the playoffs at the end of the season. We're getting really close to that. So yeah, it was a good win. And then they came out last Thursday and they faced the defending 3A state champs, Franklin County, and they won that game 5-2. So two really big region wins for the softball team.
That's a huge win for the program and really cements what they're trying to do. They're trying to build something up and really trying to make a deep playoff run this year. I think that they have the pieces to do so. I think they just need to rally together and keep doing what they're doing. And as Kirby Smart from Georgia says, keep the main thing the main thing.
I know. They've made a lot of improvement, and these region games have been really big for them. Like, they've surprised us a little bit in region, I think.
I don't really know a lot about softball. I'll be the first to admit it, but I do know one thing. A win is a win, and two big wins for the softball team last week. Next, we'll talk about volleyball. Volleyball is undefeated in Region 8 AAA with a 6-0 record, and they're 15-9 overall. Last Thursday, volleyball had non-region home matches against Rabun and Rabun Gap. The Volley Dogs split, beating Rabun 2-0 and Rabun Gap 1-2.
The volleyball team has also done really good this year, kind of turning it around a little bit. Also kind of a surprise.
Very, very true. I'm really liking what I'm seeing, especially with that undefeated region record. That is huge, especially with getting one seed heading into the state playoffs. Obviously, region champion is huge, but I think that in the state playoffs, having that one seed and having, in this case, home court advantage is going to be a huge deal for the Volley Dogs. A lot of young players on that team as well.
As they close out the season, they have a few more big region matches they're looking to secure for that region championship, really showing a lot of success and improvement in Coach Powell's second year.
Yes, they are really, really big. I'm also hearing a lot of great stuff from the JV program of the volleyball team.
I think they're undefeated. I think our JV program is undefeated. So when they come up to varsity next year, that's going to make a huge impact on varsity play for the whole region. Hopefully we can continue to build the program and continue to set a standard for Hart County volleyball.
Volleyball is making a big name last year, middle school winning state championship.
And that's those JV girls now.
A lot of development going on in the volleyball program. Look for that in the future. Look for some big-time wins and some big-time players for this volleyball program.
So now we're going to go into this week and last week's football news. Last week, the 1-2 Bulldogs got a little bit of a week off, and this week we're looking into preparing for playing undefeated Jefferson. What's your take on that, Adam?
It's a big match. It's going to be vitally important for the Bulldogs to focus up and really play this week. The key matchup, I think, is that we have 4-star Malachi Starks for the Jefferson Dragons and 4-star Kane Barong for the Bulldogs. Obviously, it's a team game, but two very big names. I think for the Bulldogs, they really need to lean on the run game this week.
Yes.
The run game is going to be able to open up a lot, especially for play action. Look for Malachi Thomas and J.L. Lackey to have a big game, and also two names to point out, Paul Davis and Kane Barong. Look for Paul Davis deep on the outside, and then Kane Barong really catching passes down in the middle. I think if they can get that going and then have some other receivers, I really think that they have a shot in this game.
Oh, yeah, and definitely. And a little bit less pressure on this game now that Jefferson's been recently moved out of our region. So we're looking at a week off preparing for undefeated Jefferson, and then we come back, get another week off, and then start region play with undefeated Franklin for our homecoming game. So we're looking for preparing for that game as well.
That's going to be a big game, big-time rivalry. It's really, really built itself on a rivalry.
Especially this year.
Hart County's biggest rival is Elbert County, but I've noticed throughout the years that Franklin County has started to really, really cement itself as a deeper rivalry. I'm really excited to watch that game. Obviously, a lot of preparation needs to go into it, and then Franklin County with that 4-0 record, undefeated, that's a big deal.
And Franklin doesn't have another game before us, so they have 2 weeks to prepare for us. They're going to come in undefeated to play us. There's going to be a lot of emotion. There's going to be a lot of suspense built up around this game, so we're hoping for a big win at that game too. A lot of preparation. But going back to what you said earlier about Paul Davis, sophomore Paul Davis recently got his first offer from the University of Duke.
Big time.
What's your take on that, Adam?
I love it. I think that he's definitely deserving of it, and he's a prospect who I think could be really big by the time that he comes in. Class of 2023 wide receiver. I think that he's going to have an explosion like Kane Barong did his sophomore year. If you notice, Kane Barong got his first offer whenever he was a sophomore.
Yeah.
He got it from LSU. Obviously, he's a Notre Dame commit now, but it really exploded, and it was offer after offer after offer. And I think that's going to happen with Paul. But this season, he's been balling out. I mean, there's no other way to put it. He has been flat out balling out.
I know, he's really a leadership kind of role. He's an underclassman on the team. He's already got Player of the Week. I believe it was against White County.
I'm not exactly sure, but he has
gotten Player of the Week. He's an underclassman. He's making the big plays,
yes,
pulling his weight and some. We have a little bit of a short staff when it comes to our wide receivers, and he's really pulled the weight and got everything together. He's doing a really good job, and I think he's going to have a really big impact on the coming games, especially when it comes to region play. Because we have our great running backs, Malachi and JL, but then when they need some relief, we have Paul as a great option as wide receiver. So I think he's going to be definitely playing a big role in seasons to come as well.
And he plays the other side as well, plays some safety, plays some defensive back, and he does it extremely well at a high level. I don't know if you know this, but Dogs played 3 games. First game, touchdown, receiving touchdown, Paul Davis. Second game, receiving touchdown, Paul Davis. Third game, pick 6 by the sophomore Paul Davis. He is definitely a name that you need to watch. Let's take a look at this week's scores.
All right, so now we're going to get into sporting events today and upcoming sporting events for Friday and this weekend. Today, cross country is going to be at the Mountain Invitational. Varsity volleyball has matches against Loganville Christian and Elbert. JV football is going to have a home game versus Raven, and varsity softball is going to be at East Jackson today. Friday, the football team is going to take on Jefferson at home. Make sure to be here. And Saturday, there's a home Raider meet, and the band is going to travel to Chestatee to compete in the Lake Lanier Tournament of Bands. Good luck to all the Bulldogs this week. Stay safe.
And go Dogs.
This has been Bulldog Sports Insider with Emma Jones and Adam Walters. Bulldog Sports Insider is a production of the Bulldog Television Network.